Let's get racing.
3, 4, 5 road lights in Austria. Down the hill we go. Jake Benham is the driver to beat as we leave the line. Can he hang on to it? But he's under pressure now. Final lap. Can he go to the inside line? Yes, he can. That's right. Now he's spun. Great racing all the way through. The drive to remember.
Let's get racing.
3, 4, 5 road lights in Austria. Down the hill we go. Jake Benham is the driver to beat as we leave the line. Can he hang on to it? But he's under pressure now. Final lap. Can he go to the inside line? Yes, he can. That's right. Now he's spun. Great racing all the way through. The drive to remember.
Let's get racing.
3, 4, 5 road lights in Austria. Down the hill we go. Jake Benham is the driver to beat as we leave the line. Can he hang on to it? But he's under pressure now. Final lap. Can he go to the inside line? Yes, he can. That's risky now. He's spun. Great racing all the way through. The drive to remember.
Well, hello everybody and welcome to the Aramco Sim Arena, and if you're watching at home, welcome to beautiful Saudi Arabia here for another set of finals. This is actually one of 4 today that we're having, and to start things off here we have the RaceRoom final here for the Marshals of the Saudi Automobile and Motorcycle Federation, for the hard-working crews that make motorsport events so successful here in Saudi Arabia. It's a little bit of a token of our appreciation here, allowing them their turn behind the wheel. Of course, they are using the sim rigs that we have here set up and run by pole position. But of course, we have 20 drivers here in our first final here for the Marshals. And well, let's start with the bottom row. So we have a total of 10 here situated in front of us, and then another 10 in front of them here. And you may notice on the clock it says 20 minutes, well, it's counted down already from 20 minutes, but we have 20 minutes of practice and qualifying that have been mixed together here to give the drivers the opportunity to feel for the track a little more than they would with just 10-10. You know, don't want to have to wait for the session to reload and everything like that. Let's just dive straight into things, shall we? So of course, this qualifying session here of 20 minutes will set the field here for our race. So who we have here on the far left, Mohammed Al-Jaba will be on the first of the simulators here. Ala Khalil will line up alongside him on the second simulator. Abdullah Al-Jadid is on the third simulator. Nasser Ben Faraj is on the fourth simulator, with Wal Tahir alongside him on the fifth simulator. Wal Rafay is on the sixth simulator, still on the first row here, with Abdullah Al-Saif alongside him. Then we have Amar Al-Jahani with Ahmed Houssa alongside him, and then the final sim that's on the first row in 10th, in the 10th sim slot, is Fail Al-Dismani. And then we go to the first row here. Salem Bamakir is in the 11th simulator, alongside him Yazid Kurodian is in there with Ali Mohammed in the 13th simulator. Wali Tahir on the 14th simulator. Rada Rafai in the 15th simulator. We're still on the top row, and we still have a long way to go as well, as Ryan Al-Humaid on the 16th simulator. Abdul Rahman Abdul Salam is on the 17th simulator, with Rawaf Dagestani on the 18th one. Iyad Falata and Mashari Al-Anzay is all our 20 drivers here. Now, here of course all of them are part of the Saudi Automobile Motorcycle Federation. They are all marshals here in Saudi Arabia. So they've done things like Formula One before. They've done all the other things, all the events that happen here, including the ones that you may not see. Of course, the Jeddah Grand Prix now being held twice already, once this year and once last year. Last year, of course, was the first time the Formula One ever visited Saudi Arabia. And of course, they revisited the country earlier this year in Jeddah. Now, we're racing here around Spa-Francorchamps, and all of the cars here are identical. Now, you may notice they are covered up in Aramco Aston Martin liveries. However, they're not the exact car here, because if you listen very carefully, you'll hear a very distinct sounding V10 underneath the engine cover here of these Formula cars here. So they're not exactly the Formula One cars that you see racing today. A little bit of an older spec here, just with the Aramco Aston Martin livery. Now, the first of the laps have been placed in the books, with a 1:48.593 setting the field. 2.6 seconds is the gap between our top two, and it's Yazid, no it's not, it's Ali Mohammed who's gone quickest of all so far, because he's in simulator number 13. Now, just up behind him, and I thought we had a change position actually, it's just the timing screen updating itself, but indeed there's Ali Mohammed who is leading the field, and just behind him is Wali Tahir, and they're separated by 2.6 seconds at the moment. The yellow flag in sector 3. It's a bit of an incident there. Now the yellow flag has been withdrawn, so good to go racing again through that corner there. Of course, with the yellow flags where we know overtaking is allowed, and that can really impede your lap, especially if you're on a quick one as well. You've got slower traffic in front of you. So 5 minutes of session has already gone down. It looks like we've had 18 drivers already come across the line and put a lap time in. The field separated by 23.8 seconds at the moment. We've got 19 drivers now that have actually set lap times here. So we're just missing one driver, and I'm trying to spot who hasn't put a lap time in just yet. As we've gone, as you said, this is the biggest grid of final drivers that we've had here so far throughout this week. And it certainly won't be the last one as well, because we have another heat race coming up, another final coming up later today that will also include close to 20 drivers here at the Aramco Sim Arena. So all the drivers now have put a lap time in, and all separated by 23.8 seconds here around Spa-Francorchamps. But still, the time to beat is a 1:48.593 set by Ali Mohammed, who now leads the field and is the provisional pole sitter. As we look at him right now coming through the final corner, He's come across the line and improve his lap time. Not quite. But he's still out in front. Or is he? Because Rad Al Rafai has just gone quickest of all with a 1:48.197. He is now 0.3 of a second up the road from Ali Mohammed. We've got another yellow flag in sector 3. Seems to be quite a hot spot at the moment. Do see one driver to the far left on the first simulator that's having an issue. That is Mohammed Al-Jabbar, who's facing an issue there in the final 2 corners. And that is the reason as to why we have the yellow flag here at Spa. As the current pole sitter there, using a little bit too much of the track there, that might cost him some time as well, because he's going to have to slow down here, unless he incurs, if he doesn't want to incur a penalty, that is, because that could be deemed as cutting the track. As he continues on his way, still provisional pole sitter, as we said, no change for the time being. We did have a slight shuffle in the top 10, and we seem to have a shuffle lower down the field as well, in 18th and 19th position. As Ahmad Al-Jahani moves up, as Abdullah Al-Saif moves down by the looks of it. Now, where is our current pole sitter at the moment on track? He's not improved his time, so he hasn't come through yet. We're currently looking at Nasser at the moment here, all the way down in 13th at the moment, 11 seconds off of the current leader in the session. Is looking for that all-important pole position. A yellow flag waving now in sector 2. It looks like simulator 15 has had an issue and got off, and that is the reason we've got yellow flag in sector 3 as well. I wonder if that's in the penultimate and final quarter as well, where we've seen consistent issues. Interesting to see all the different views the drivers are using. A lot of them are actually using not the full in-car view, but a little bit closer towards the front axle of the car. And I picked up that at least 2 drivers here are using the sort of third-person perspective. If I did that, that would really throw me off the car. One of them is even going for that, the right with the camera on the front wing by the looks of it. Yeah, he's got no wheels in front of him whatsoever. So all he's seeing is the track underneath him. That is not the pole sitter, although he is, that's number 14 that's using that, isn't it? He is actually 4th overall at the moment, and that is Walid Tahir behind the wheel, who has that very interesting camera angle. Here we're looking at 7th overall. This is a driver that's on the 10th simulator. It's Faisal, who's all the way in the right-hand corner on the bottom row here in the Aramco Sim Arena. Brief yellow flag, though another yellow flag through sector 3. It seems to be quite a hot spot at the moment in its practice/qualifying session. So a quick look to see if anyone is having any issues. It doesn't look like it. Looks like everyone's still all got 4 wheels pointing in the right direction. Looked like one momentarily was off track by the looks of it. But up front, the gap is still 0.3 of a second with, now if we look at 3rd overall, Wael Tahir is closing the gap here because he's 1.2 seconds adrift from the pole sitter. He was a lot further back than that previously, and he seems to have clawed back some time as we're now into the second half here, or fast approaching the second half here of our practice and qualifying session here. Of course, it will double up and it will, of course, set the field here for our 20-minute race here around Spa. And do you see any improvement from Tahir as he comes across the line this time round? No, but he still stays in 3rd position overall. It looks like the 2nd place sim there having a... And that is Ala Khalil, who's had a little bit of an off, down in 16th at the moment, 11.8 seconds off of the pole sitter's lap time. As we fast approach the halfway point here in the session, yellow flag in sector 2. Now, it's interesting to note in the driver's briefing that was held earlier before this session started, one of the drivers made a note to the race director to inform the other drivers that may be a bit newer to the circuit here to be cautious of turn 1. There's no doubt it's going to be a hot spot there, because if you miss your braking point, whether it be on the inside or the outside, if the outside, not too much an issue because you're just going to go straight off into the runoff area. However, if you're going to go on the right-hand side, you could really ruin someone's race, as we just see now 2 cars off in the runoff area of turn 1. 1 corner, 2 cars, might not work all the time. as across the line. Not quite, a little bit further back here through sector 3 is Abdullah Al Saif looking to climb his way up the order, and it looks to be quite a shuffle there in the second batch of the top of the 20 drivers that we have here, as Abdullah there misses the braking point. Another driver as well missing the braking point through the penultimate corner. It's quite a tricky corner as well to get right. I know I had a few issues myself over the past couple of days trying to get that penultimate corner nailed down. Very easy to get wrong, very hard to master, but a few drivers have mastered it already, including our pole sitter, the Raid Al-Rafai car, who's currently leading the session by 0.3 of a second over Ali Mohammed, who is the early pace setter on the very first lap, but it looks to be it's going the way of Al-Rafai here, looking to start strongly before the end of the race here, of course, because that's what qualifying is for, isn't it? Looking for that all-important, strong qualifying position, and of course, there's no better place to be than on the very front of the grid in that all-important P1 position. Of course, alongside him will be Ali Mohammed for the time being. This is the session which end now, but we still have 8 minutes on the clock here in the Aramco Sim Arena for our first of 3 finals here for our Marshals. The ever so brave souls who do an amazing job at any motorsport event here we have in Saudi Arabia, and without them we could not be doing any form of racing. So a huge shout out to all of the drivers here that we have, all 20 of you guys, and the others that actually attempted to qualify as well, but Jay may have just missed the point, the cut-off line that is, of the 20 drivers that have made it into the final. So if you're a Marshal, a huge thank you to what you do here in Saudi Arabia, but if you're listening around the world as well, a big thank you, because of course without you we would not be going racing at all. The Raid Al-Rafai car, still the man to beat here with a 1:48.197. He's still 0.3 or almost close to 0.4 of a second actually, but here he comes to complete another lap. Now does he improve? He's got a lot of gap between himself up front and behind him as well. Comes across the line, but no improvement on his lap time, the 1:48.197, so it's still the time to beat, and he is still the man to beat as well, with Ali Mohammed currently sitting in second overall. Can we give it another go as we ride on board here through one of the most iconic corners on the F1 calendar. And then all the way up into 7th gear down towards the end of sector 1, heavy into the braking zone. Well, this is another corner that you don't want to miss out on the braking point, because the last thing you want to do is go through, basically cut the track there and go to those sausage curves. They can really impact your race. Yellow flag waving in sector 2, so someone's had it off somewhere, and it's still not got all 4 tyres pointing in the right direction. And it looks like our current leader in the session coming up on a group of 3 cars in front of him. There's a brief yellow flag there in sector 3. Now into sector 2 goes the current pace setter. As you said, coming up on some, not lap traffic, but just traffic in general. Now it'd be great if you could pick up the toe. That was close there with one of the drivers in front of him spinning, and that's cost him a lap there as well, hasn't it? Because he's gone off into the gravel. He missed his braking point there with the car pointing the wrong direction in front of him. Great job to not collect that car in front of him and take avoiding action, but unfortunately it has cost him this lap. So he'll have to try again next time round. We should have enough time for at least 2 more laps to see if he can improve, and it has been an improvement as well, by the looks of it. Actually, no, because we're on board now with Ali Mohammed, who is the man that's in second position at the moment, or should we say qualifying in second position. He comes across the line. Does he improve his time? Not this time round. He'll have at least 2 more attempts. It was at a 1:52, so he is 4 seconds off the pace on that lap. Now, currently on the second row of the grid, we have this man right here, Walid Tahir. Sparks go flying through the final corner. Now, on the second row of the grid, alongside Walid Tahir for the time being, will be Walid Tahir, or Wale Tahir, excuse me. And then on the third row of the grid, we have Abdullah Al-Jadid, and alongside him will be Iyad Falata. But still plenty of time left on the clock for at least 2 laps here around Spa. Still the time to beat at 1:48.197, and we do have a slight close up as well, actually further up the order as well, because I just noticed that the gap between P1 and P3 at the moment is come down to 0.4 of a second. It was over a second not too long ago, but it looks like Walid Tahir has put a banger of a lap in, and he has now closed the gap on himself and the two drivers that are in front of him. He's edging closer to the front row of the grid, but can he edge closer to pole position? Because that's where he would like to start here at the Aramco Sim Arena. As we're looking at 5th overall here, this is Faisal, who's currently behind the wheel. He's 2.1 seconds off of the pace with just over 3.5 minutes to go, and he's actually just dropped out of the top 5 now, as he's now bumped down to 6th position overall. I do wonder if we can pick up Walid Tahir and see where he is on track at the moment, to see if he is on a flying lap, or at least a purple lap that would be, because of course he wants to try and secure pole position for himself before the start of our Marshals final, one of 3 finals that we'll have here. Now, just to note, this will be one of the larger finals that we have, because we'll have 20 drivers here in this final for the Marshals. Then we'll move over to Gran Turismo Sport, where we'll have 10 drivers, and then Assetto Corsa Competizione, where we'll have another 10 drivers. So this is our biggest field. We'll go down to 2 smaller fields after this, as no improvement yet from the top 3. So no one has been able to shake Raid Al Rafai's time, as he's still the current pole sitter here around Spa. Sitting in second is still Ali Mohammed. He's yet to be bested as well, so he'll start up on the front row of the grid provisionally for the time being, as yellow flags wave in Sector 1 and Sector 3 here. As he said, Sector 3 a definite hotspot, and it's that penultimate and final corner that was proving to be quite difficult for some of the drivers here. See one driver being warned about track limits, a little bit closer to our position here. So just over 2 minutes remaining in the session. The yellow flag waves again through Sector 1. I presume that is going into the first corner. Yes, it is. Because again, it looks like the 16th place simulator, that's Rayad Al-Hameid, who's having an issue through that... oh, sorry, that's not the 16th simulator. Sorry, that's the 6th simulator that's having an issue. That's Wael Al-Rafai, who's having an issue through the first corner. But now less than 2 minutes to go on the clock, so it will be 1 lap for all, essentially, when they come across the line this time round. Now, who can dethrone Raid Al Rafai here around Spa? It seems to be he's the man to beat from the very get-go, almost. Although there was 1 flying lap done by Ali Mohammed that was the best at the beginning, but since then, Rafai has been the man to beat. Here, as one of the drivers goes over the sausage curves, going through the penultimate corner. And again, it's not where you want to get things wrong, because those curves can really impact your time, and they can really damage the car as well. There's another driver facing head first into the wall. Now, that looks to be Rayhan Al-Hameid this time round. No, sorry, it's not, is it? Because again, I'm looking at the front row here. I think that's Wael Al-Rafai, who's having another issue there as he slips it into reverse. He's not going to have enough time, though, I don't think, to do another lap. Less than a minute to go here on the clock. Yellow in Sector 2 and Sector 3. Last chance for the Marshals here to try and snag the pole position away from Rayad Al Rafai. But unfortunately, with the session now officially over, that's not going to happen. So it will be Rayad Al Rafai who will start on the front row of the grid, and alongside him will be Ali Mohammed. You can switch over to the first page so we can see the starting order for the race. It does look like a few of the drivers are still out there on track at full speed as well, as the session will no doubt get the drivers set up here in RaceRoom. And there is the classification. A 1:53.049 was the time to beat. Now, something doesn't look right here. Now, is that P9 or is that P18? Because now it's saying race results on our screen, so that doesn't look correct at all. So we're going to ignore what's on our screens right now. I can see on the other screens we've got qualifying order in front of them. It says race results here, so that is not what we want to see, because that is not the gap between the two of them up front, because it was 0.3 of a second separating the top two. And as some drivers go over to congratulate themselves, it looks like a driver's actually having an issue on the bottom row here. Never mind, he's just switching between the camera views. It looked to be like a slight error here. So we're about to get underway now with a 20-minute race here on RaceRoom here for our Marshals. One of 3 finals that will take place today for the Marshals. Of course, the Marshals are exactly who you think they are. They are the very brave souls that help us race every weekend here in Saudi Arabia. Things like the Jeddah Grand Prix, the Dakar, of course the Riyadh E-Prix, part of Formula E, and of course the upcoming WTCR race that we held in Jeddah later this year in November. And I'm excited about that, though still awaiting slight confirmation for it, but no doubt it'll be very exciting. So it looks like the field is set. We're about to go racing here. So on the front row of the grid, we have Riyad Al Rafai, and alongside him will be Ali Mohammed, and we're getting ready for a 20-minute race here. The lights are on. We've got 5 red lights on for the time being. Are they all going to go out? Yes, they are. So it's a nice clean start so far, or is it? It's further down. We've already got a problem as it is already. We've got 2 cars spun around. 2 into the wall way down at the back of the field. We thought corner 1 would be an issue. It seems to be the straight going down towards turn 1 was the issue. Oh, calamity again in the first corner here at Spa. And this is, of course, talked about by the race director and some of the drivers in at the driver's briefing. But it looks like out in front, the 2 drivers got away cleanly. Ali Mohammed has gone into the lead of the race, though, with Walid Tahir getting a great start here. He's up in a 2nd position. He's going to try and take on the inside move of Ali Mohammed here, but thinks better of it. Tucks into the toe behind him as he works his way through the corner for the early pole sitter. Unfortunately, he's dropped back into 3rd position, but he has a straight back. The 17th, or more drama here on the very opening lap here of the race. A big shuffle. A driver's being warned about track limits. He's got his penalty. Has the 11th place, 11th driver, that's Salib Bukina, who's being pinged for track limits already on the very first lap of the race. And they're going to have to slow down here to concede that time. Now, unfortunately, they're all the way at the tail end of the field and losing time, heaps of time, actually. Now, the 11th place simulator is the top left. Seems to be dropping like a stone at the moment. We've seen another driver have an incident. Yellow in sector 2 yet again. As one car goes wide through the corner. Now, that may be too many tyres off track at any given time there. So that may have to be looked into at some point. But race leader Ali Mohammed now racing his way away from the field, or is he? Because he's just ahead of this 3-car train here, battling for 3rd at the moment. A good switch back there, a slight nudge of contact with the quicker driver through the corner at the end. Another driver gets it wrong through the final corner. They just missed the braking zone through the penultimate corner. And unfortunately, got it a bit wrong. So Ali Mohammed continues to lead. Another driver tumbling his way down the order here around Spa. So Ali Mohammed leads at the moment. Then it's Walid Tahir and then Riyad Al Rafai in 4th position. And then we have Iyad Thalata, who is in the mix as well. And then rounding out the top 5, we have Walid Tahir in the mix as well, because we've got a 3-way battle for 3rd, and we've got a duel for 2nd, essentially. And here is that battle for 3rd. Slight contact, and unfortunately for Tahir, he goes round. And another driver being pinged for track limits, and unfortunately a driver being collected there. Will Tahir, no, you can't do that. That's not very smart. They're looking to your right there, coming on track, because of course that is a very tricky part of the track to get things wrong. And unfortunately from 5th position all the way down now into 14th. And certainly the stewards will be looking into that, because that was definitely not the right thing to do at all. It looked like Tahir, they're not paying attention on track. There's another penalty to be dished out there for track limits here. The 4th place car that is receiving a penalty, because if it is, that is Iyad Thalata, who has picked up that penalty. Now into the top 5 comes Faisal Al-Dizmani, who is now into the top 5 here. But unlike our previous finals that we've had here this weekend, only 3 finalists here will walk away with prizes. We'll do the podium presentation, of course, right after the race. Now, we said Ali Mohammed going through the corner there, not as he should have, but it looked like he took to the inside a little bit too much compared to what the man behind me did there, because behind him tucked up is Walid Tahir at the moment. As these two now start to break away from the pack. The gap was 0.3 of a second not too long ago through sector 3, but through sector 1 is extended now to 0.7 of a second as the yellow flag waves again in that third sector. Oh, and he got a car upside down going through that second sector, and third sector, excuse me, and that's exactly what we said about those sausage curves. You've got to be very careful. Now, who's that was on their side? Or is that a replay? We've still got this great battle brewing up front. But again, that's what the sausage curves can do to the penultimate corner. It's a good thing damage isn't on here around Spa at the Aramco Sim Arena, because that could have gone all pear-shaped and there would have been 2 drivers out of the race completely. But we still circulate with 20 drivers here. We've successfully elapsed the first 15 minutes without a safety car. It seems to be, but we've had plenty of yellow flags all over the place, specifically in the final 2 corners of the race. Track limit to be used for number 12, that is Yazid, who will be picking up that penalty. Is to slow down. Now he is 10th at the moment, so he's inside the top 10, but he's going to have to concede some time to the drivers that are behind him. Ali Mohammed continues to lead now by 2.8 seconds, and more drama here as 2 cars have collected one another. That looked to be Rawaf, and who was with him there at that time. As we've got a third car in the mix as well. That is Ala Khalil, who's in the mix there as well, with that bit of contact there. Looks to be things are getting a little spicy towards the end of the pack here of our 20 drivers. But up front it seems to be relatively clean. Now, of course, for Ali Mohammed, Riyad Al-Rafai and Walid Tahir, they've got to be careful, because soon enough they'll be catching these back markers soon enough, and seeing what's happening there. They've got to keep their wits about them, because they're going to have to keep an eye on every single mirror and every single angle that they can see out of the vehicle. As again, more cars miss their braking point through the final corner there, and does concede time to the driver that's behind them. Of course, you do gain a slight advantage going through that complex if you miss that braking point, and to ensure that you don't incur a penalty, as a bit of contact there to the rear bumper of the Walid Tahir car. Now, this is the car that had the spin earlier on in sector 1 that moved him down the order, unfortunately. That small shunt is going to push him even further down the order as well here around Spa. Green flags wave again in all 3 sectors, but for how long? As we ride on board here with Walid Tahir. He was in the top 3, but no longer is he in the top 3, because Iyad Falata has come through, and this is the battle for the 3rd and final step of the podium between these two here. Iyad and Walid battling it out, separated by 0.2 of a second as they work their way now through sector 3. About a car length separating the 2 of them here, and it looks like Walid's trying to pick up the toe here, trying to pick up the draft, and now he's getting closer. Is Walid going to shut the door as he flanks to the outside, tries to fake a move, he goes to the inside, which is a great move, but unfortunately he's hung out to dry, because the next corner he was around the outside, but again he's going to try around the outside, which will give him the inside line on the final corner of the race. Here we go through the last corner. A little bit of touch there on the wheels, makes it through just about, but no doubt Iyad will fight back there with Walid, and they continue to fight now through the first corner here around Spa, the Aramco Sim Arena, down towards the most iconic corners of F1 racing in the entire world. Yellow waves in sector 3 again, and unfortunately for Walid, he's dropped back now from the back of the yard, but again he's picked up the toe, he's in the slipstream, he's going to flank to the outside, he's going to flank to the inside, he's going to fake a move. No, this time he's going to stick with the inside line, goes deep, brakes as late as he can here, but unfortunately with the outside line just about shuts the door on him without taking his rival off track, and that of course was Iyad Falata, who was on the inside there, and that was a great move from Walid Tahir to make his way back up into the top 3. And that's the kind of racing we want to see here in the Aramco Sim Arena. So we're fast approaching the halfway point here in one of our 3 finals here for the Marshals. As we ride on board now with the 13th place driver That is Abdullah Al-Saif at the moment. Not the best race for him so far. He's had some issues in the early stages, and saying that he has an issue going through the corner there. Unfortunately, a little bit too early on the accelerator. That spun him around. So now looking at the battle of what looks to be for 10th position at the moment. Indeed, it would be between Ahmed Hoza and Wael Tahir, who's actually done a very good job of climbing his way up the order, has Wael Tahir. He did unfortunately drop back early on, and the track limit penalty, slow down penalty for the Al Khalil car down in 18th position at the moment, not going his way at all, is it, for the second simulator driver. But for Wael Tahir, it's been a great try so far. As you said, he's had some issues earlier on in the race, but he's managed now to slowly carve his way up, and he's almost back up in the top 10 here, as he's in a group of 3 cars here trying to make his way through the order. Now he is the car at the back of this triplet of car series, about a 10th of a second off the pace for the time being. Or is that a back marker car that's in between them? No, it's not, because he's just taken 10th and he's just taken 9th, so he's done 2 cars in 1 corner, thank you very much, and off he goes. But he has to look on the inside there, because a very late braking manoeuvre there from the drivers that are around him, and unfortunately one gets it all wrong and hits the wall at pit exit there. Too early on the accelerator, and try to overcorrect, and unfortunately just went smack bang into the barrier. But for Wael Tahir, he's happy about that, because he's on his way now and on a mission to try and work his way back now into the top 5. He has less than 10 minutes to go on the clock, but with his current pace, he may be able to work his way into the top 5, if not the top 3 as well. It seems to be Ali Mohammed still leads here around Spa. He's 1.7 seconds up the road, make that 1.9 seconds up the road from his closest rival, who of course is Riyad Al Rafai here around Spa. And then at third overall, and our final podium finisher is another slowdown penalty issued for the 13th place car overall, and that is Yazid, who will pick up that penalty. Unfortunately has to slow down now around Spa. So less than 9 minutes to go. Yellow flag waves in sector 1. I presume that'll be for turn 1. Yes, it is, because I could see that on the 12th place simulator there, having an issue through that corner. And that made me just for them slowing down as well, as another car slows down through one of the corners there, a little too early on the brakes, which gives a position change for them, and unfortunately drops them down to what looks to be 14th overall, because we're currently looking at 13th at the moment, who's 7 seconds off the pace. We've got a battle here, but unfortunately it looks like one driver pushed out wide. That was Abdullah Al-Saif, who ran wide, and actually both cars run wide there through that corner. It's Masari Al-Anzari, Anzi, excuse me, who's run wide through that corner. And here we are looking at the race leader, Ali Mohammed, still under pressure though. A 1 second gap is enough to capitalise here for the Riyad Al Rafai car, who will be looking to snatch back the lead of the race here at some point. But for Ali Mohammed, it's been pitch perfect so far. He hasn't put a foot wrong. He's got a car into the barrier here in the farther corner, and that's certainly been a hot spot throughout practice and qualifying. Another driver misses the braking point and across the sausage curb there again as the rear end lifts up. Back with the lead battle here. 4/10 of a second is the gap. He's managed to close up at 6/10 of a second in the past less than 30 seconds, which again is absolutely incredible here. And this is Riyad Al Rafai, who's in the tow again of Ali Mohammed, and they come through now and they put on the corner. They're very late on the brake, so he's going to overshoot the corner, misses the wall. Now he's going to have to concede. He's going to have to slow down here to ensure he doesn't collect a penalty, because he has taken the lead away from the race leader and missed the corner completely. And Ali Mohammed once again goes into the lead of the race. Now for Riyad there, that was probably not the best move there, but he was trying his best to brake as late as he could, but I think he just broke way too late there on that corner. And a dive on the inside here. This is the battle for 5th position at the moment, excuse me, 4th position at the moment, between Faisal and Iyad here, who are battling it out for 5th overall, separated by 2/10 of a second. Make that less now. Another 10th of a second. Looks to the left, looks to the right, can't find a way through. Has to concede for the time being, but picks up the draft as a spin, and that's second place. Yes, it is. That is Riyad Al Rafai, who's gone round, and unfortunately, all that time that he's made up he has lost completely, and he may lose third as well. Of course, for Walid Tahir, he says, thank you, I'll take second now, and it's my turn now to chase down Ali Mohammed. Cheers for that, and he is on his way. So we have now in second position Walid Tahir, and Ali Mohammed continues to lead, but for Riyad Al Rafai, just unfortunately missed it there, and then this battle still brewing here for fourth overall, between Faisal and Iyad here at the moment. Iyad looking for a way back into the top three. As he can see now, third position is actually a lot closer than it was before, and unfortunately Iyad loses it going through the corner a bit too early on the accelerator, and that battle is now done and dusted, as now Faisal can work his way closer to the back bumper of Riyad Al Rafai, who currently sits in third place. Lead battle is up to 3 seconds now, separating the two of them, but it is coming down quite quickly. But it is now gone back up to 3.2 seconds. In the wall is Ala Khalil again for the umpteenth time. And as we fast approach the final quarter of the race here, we successfully elapsed almost 15 minutes of race in this 20-minute session, with only 2 lead changes throughout the entire race. Ali Mohammed and Riyad Al Rafai were our top 2, and contact there. I think there's going to be quite a lot of replays to be looking at here for the race director and his team. We've seen a lot of contact, we've seen a lot of spins, we've seen a lot of corner coming as well, although those penalties have been automatically applied to the drivers that have cut the track anywhere. And there you go, another slowdown penalty for Ala Khalil, and unfortunately he's got to slow it down a little bit here to not raise the eyebrows of the race director, as through now into 5th position. That was Iyad Falata, who's now in 6th position, but Abdullah Al-Jadid, we've seemingly not spoken about at all, has gone through, and that's definitely going to be looked at as well, because that was certainly unnecessary contact into the back bumper of Jadid, who made a nice clean move there into 5th position, but unfortunately was bumped off track there and bumped out wide as well. That looks like a little bit of a cheeky NASCAR move. Now, looking at the lead of the race here, it's actually come down again. It's 1.6 seconds separating our top 2. So Ali Mohammed now coming under pressure from Walid Tahir once again. Another battle here brewing. This is for 5th. It's now a 3-way battle for 5th position. If only we had prizes going down all the way to 5th position as well. Be a great battler towards the end of the race here. But what we're going to see here is the lead battle. Again, we're stuck here with 5th at the moment. 3 cars vying for a single piece of tarmac. Great driving so far from the drivers who are currently on board with Jadid at the moment, who is on the outside, but he's going to be looking on the inside for the next corner, and a slight contact there between the two, battling again as they change position for 6th and 7th. But again, we want to see the lead battle here because it's coming down between Ali Mohammed and Walid Tahir. At the moment, it's down to 1.4 seconds, and then a further 8.7 seconds back to Riyad Al Rafai, who's a bit further down. The penalty being applied now to the 12th simulator, down in 16th position at the moment. That is Yazid, who's picked up yet another penalty here at the Aramco Sim Arena, as the gap is going up again between the 2 race leaders, and it looks like there's back markers involved in this as well, because that's not a battle for position. That is the Walid Tahir car trying to find a way through back markers, and it seems to have impeded him quite significantly, because that gap was up to almost 2 seconds, and we knew this was going to be an issue at some point, because the leaders would certainly catch up with the back markers, who essentially are in a race of their own at the moment, all over the place. But with 2 minutes to go on the clock, 1.3 seconds is the gap. Is it coming down? No, it's not. It's going up again between Ali Mohammed, because it looks like Mohammed is trying to find a way through the back markers of his own, and he has got through for the time being, and it did cost him a lot of time, because here we are with Ali Mohammed again, back markers in front of him. He's late on the brakes, bit of contact there, a spin. He makes contact with a back marker, and he has cut the final corner. Now the race directors are going to have a look at that, because surely that has to be a penalty there. He's hit another car, he's missed the corner completely as well, and he's added more time between himself and Walid Tahir here at the Aramco Sim Arena around Spa-Francorchamps. 1.7 seconds is the gap between them. This battle for fifth position continues to rage on, with drivers still missing that final apex there, the breaking point of the final corner. We had another car off there as well behind the barrier. Yellow flag waves in sector 3 again. Another collision here on the front straightaway, and that again is the battle for sixth position. That was Mohammed Al-Jaber going round and being punted off. As we're looking at 11th position at the moment, the battle for 10th actually here around Spa, as another track limits penalty being applied to the driver that is currently in. Now, where is the 8th place? We're down in 17th at the moment here, and that is Amr Al-Juhani, who's picked up that penalty. The gap up front, though, is coming down again. It is 0.6 of a second separating our two leaders here at the moment. Ali Mohammed and Walid Tahir battling it out here, but I think for Walid Tahir, he's only got one more opportunity, and that's going to be through the penultimate corner to try and break as late as he dares to take the lead away. I do presume that the race directors will be looking at contact from the previous lap going through the final corner with the race leader, and he's missed the corner again, going through there for the final time. The race directors no doubt have to give him a penalty for that, because that's the second time he's cut that corner. But across the line he goes, excuse me. The checker flag waves for Ali Mohammed, who provisionally walks away here with the victory. No doubt there will be some discussion, though. I firmly believe Ali Mohammed may be penalised there for those last 2 laps of missing that final corner. However, Ali Mohammed is the first driver across the line, so he takes the checker flag first. Walid Tahir takes second, and rounding out the podium will be Riyad Al-Rafai, and those are your top 3 as the rest of the field work their way across the line here for the final time. We will, of course, have a very quick podium presentation, and then we'll move on. No, we won't have a podium presentation after this. We'll go straight on into the final for GT Sport here for our Marshals. As a rather frantic race there coming to a close, as more drivers miss the penultimate and final corner as well here, but I think that's all the drivers that should have come across the line. Not quite. I do see a few drivers still circulating, and I think we will have some last-minute discussions here. I definitely know the race director will be having to look at something here, because there were some questionable moves there on the final 2 laps. If I don't say so myself, but I'm not the race director, so I'll leave it in their hands and not mine. So I think that brings an end here to this race, unless 2 drivers manage to still go around, because I see 2 screens do not have the race results shown on screen. Now, I do wonder if we can... Oh, no, we don't have the microphone here at the moment, so we can't go down and have a quick chat. No microphone available just yet. I've only got my wired headset. But yeah, that brings an end now to the race. So the top 3... Oh, we do have a Mikey. Thank you very much, Dion. I'll grab that. Okay, so next is Assetto Corsa Competizione, not GT. So GT will be the final. Thanks, Viraj. So let's see if we can go and grab a quick word now with Ali Mohammed on his victory here. And let's just see if we can grab someone that can assist me, because all the drivers have now conveniently got out of their seats. So I am unsure of who is who here at the moment. It's hard to put faces to everybody here. Let's see if we can find someone that can assist me as well, and a translator as well here. And it looks like a few of the drivers will be moving across, though, to the Assetto Corsa Competizione rigs. And we'll take a quick break here, and then we'll move over to Assetto Corsa Competizione for our second of our finals here for the Marshals. And it seems to be I have been provided now with the race winner.
Because, you know, I'm still nervous.
You're still nervous, but that's what I need from you, because you just won a 20-minute race.
That's what I actually.
It's all right. You can do an Arabic. It's fine if you feel more comfortable. Not a problem. So here with the race winner, Ali Mohammed. That was a very tough race, but it seemed to be quite clean for you, except the final 2 laps there. Seemed to be you missed the braking point there going through the penultimate corner.
Last 2 laps, yes, last 2 laps I missed the brake point and I make track limit. I cut the track because there is someone beside me, so I cannot take the corner. So that's why I cut the track.
And the second to last lap, it was back marker traffic there that unfortunately got in your way.
Yeah, I had a lot of traffic actually, maybe last 5 minutes in the race.
But still a well-deserved victory.
I tried to figure out from this traffic actually.
Traffic seemed to be quite an issue. Thank you so much for talking to us, and congratulations on your win as well. Let's see if we can grab second position now as well. Because in second position we had Waleed Tahir, and I need Waleed is right here as well. How convenient. It's okay. That's fine. So Waleed's second place. You got to be happy with that, and you were closing in the final stage of the race there. I think you've had one more lap, you could have got the win.
اي اكيد لانه كنت الثاني ورجعت الرابع في الاخير خلصت الثاني.
He's happy with the second place because he was second, then he went to fourth, and then he came back to the second place.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us. We'll see now if we can grab a word with third position. You're third. See, you're trying to get them involved. We need the translator again back with us. So Ryan is here with us, third overall. That was a great finish there for you. I know you've been busy here this week. You've done, I think, already 2 races. This is your third. Are you doing even more races today as well?
ايه اكيد انا عندي اصلا سيميليتر في البيت قاعد استمر بس اول مره العب بالاف 1 البي سي فان شاء الله يعني لما تصير زي فعاليات كل سنه زي كذا راح نكون متواجدين فيها.
He said he got a simulator at home, but like he prefers, he doesn't prefer, he likes playing in this area with these people and this community. It actually makes a huge like improvement in his skills in Formula 1 and in racing in general.
Well, thank you very much. I kind of actually got the gist of that he was talking about home, so my Arabic is improving. I'm really thankful for that. Thank you so much, guys, for talking to us. Now we'll move over to Assetto Corsa Competizione for our second of our Marshall finals here. So we'll take a short break and we'll be right back.